Hello Glee fans, this is Shamus Kelley, video producer for the Towerlight, here with your Opinionated Glee review of, well, I don't even remember what the name of the episode was nor the title, but does that really matter? Glee is back, and after a 7-week long hiatus, well, it's not really a hiatus, this was planned, but whatever, was it worth the wait? To this humble reviewer, no, it wasn't worth the wait. After that fantastic episode we got that was like super deep, and I didn't think we'd start off with a really sad episode. You don't come back from a hiatus with a really deep, sad episode, but just maybe it was like the 7 weeks it was gone, but I just sort of analyzed Glee more and more and just realized how kind of terrible it is if you think about it way too much. Glee, if you don't think about Glee a lot, it's a lot more enjoyable, but if you put any, like, this much thought into it, bam! You could just pick apart this show to death. I try not to do that too much, but we're on a review show, so we'll get a little bit of that. So the first thing right off the bat is, spoiler, Quinn's not dead. Wow. Way to keep that, secret, Glee writers, or producers, whoever, keeps that stuff not leaking on the internet. Quinn is alive, and, okay, so I don't know, were they, like, paid to do a PSA about not texting while driving or texting while anything? Because they kept making, like, okay, they said it once, and it was fine. She's like, oh, man, that was not a good decision. I'm like, okay, whatever, But then it becomes, like, oh, you shouldn't do this. Texting while walking, Finn? I'm like, God, Quinn, shut up. Stop it. I sometimes, like, I didn't like Quinn at the beginning of the season when she was freaking crazy, but as it went on, thinking back on it, she got better, and she was all like, yeah, man, I don't need a guy, I'm gonna go do this and this. I'm like, great, awesome. Now she's just whiny and, I want to have my legs back. I mean, okay, once again, very understandable, but the way it's portrayed, oh my God, he just came off as really, really whiny. And the thing is, this shows that we know that Quinn is going to get her legs, use of her legs back. That's not even questioned. The problem with it is that this makes Glee have no consequences. It's like, there's no long-lasting consequences for anything because, oh, heaven forbid continuity, which Glee can't do anyway. By the way, if you want to find me on Tumblr, it's Rider Jetfire. That's like Rider like you're riding a motorcycle, and Jetfire like it sounds. .tumblr.com. Find me, it's great. I post about things. You can, get into my life. The other thing about this episode was Blaine's brother, played by that guy from White Collar. He was great. He was, he's a great actor. You could tell he was having a lot of fun with the part. I liked all their songs together. It was great. I liked that it featured a lot of Blaine, and I liked that we got something about Blaine that didn't really have to do with Kurt. I liked that. Now, some people were like, oh, Kurt should have been more concerned about him and his brother. I'm like, at least Blaine is doing something by himself. We get characterization that doesn't have to do with Kurt. Totally fine with that. The scene with Blaine and, like, singing the one song, and he's, like, doing the punching bag, which they remembered, yay. And then he's, like, in the shower. That was delightful. Totally into that. But the thing is then, it's just, God, it's... Are we going to remember this next week? Are we going to remember that Blaine has, like, a quote-unquote semi-famous brother? Are we going to, This is the problem with Glee, is that you sort of have to take it as a whole instead of episode by episode, because an episode on its own may be great, but their follow-ups to it are awful. Like, they could follow up this Quinn thing really, really well, or they could just let it fall flat on its face. I don't know. Like, this is something... I'm going to have to do, like, a Season 3 recap at the end of this season. Like, this season has been so many ups and downs. And there are other, like, little moments of this episode that were alright. There was the whole, like, Rachel Finn thing, and I liked that Finn is finally like, oh, hey, I have a life too. I should kind of be concerned about that. Now, you could make arguments that, oh, well, now he's just throwing Rachel's dreams out the window. Well, to be fair, he was like, but you can go to California with me and be an actor or actress. And she's like, well, no. I'm like, God, Rachel, stop being the worst. Seriously, you are the worst person next to Quinn right now. And... I mean, I like that, and I like that we're getting some conflict. Thank God they didn't get married. Jesus Christ, that would have been terrible. And just, there's not a lot to say about this episode. When a show comes back after a 7-week hiatus, which is kind of a big deal, especially in primetime network television, you've got to wow people. You've got to draw them in. And I get the feeling this was an episode where, oh, if you missed it and you forgot it was on, it's okay if you missed this one. It's not that big a deal. It came off as kind of just fluff. Like, is this really going to matter later on? The biggest thing was Quinn is in a wheelchair. All right, cool. You can tell us that in like 20 seconds. And really, God, do the writers think like we're dumb? There's this moment, and I really could not get over it. There's a flashback with Blaine and his brother as little kids. Did Blaine always dress that way when he was like 4? Like, writers, we get, you're telling us it's a flashback. We don't then need to be shown, like, like, do you get it? He's a little kid. You can tell it's little kid Blaine because he's wearing a bow tie. Do you get it? It's funny. No, it's not. That's like Star Wars level writing, guys, of the prequels. Stop it. Oh, my God. And once again, in case this episode didn't tell you enough, texting is really bad. You shouldn't text unless you're sitting down and you're fine. Oh, man. You know, just... Oh, and they ditched. They go to Six Flags. That's not a horrible product placement. I wonder how much they paid for that one. Six Flags is going down the toilet. They need as much as they can get. And once again, the songs are fine. The thing with Sue and like her kid, I'm really struggling to care. Sue is so like back and forth episode to episode. I'm not really sure what they're doing with her. She was great in the first season. Remember when she was awesome and everybody liked her? Now she's just kind of a thing. I don't know. Seriously, like, commenters, viewers, let me know what you think about this. Leave a comment. As you know, I respond to pretty much all of the comments. If I didn't, bring up something in this episode, please bring it up. That would be awesome. That'd be great. I would love to get feedback on everything that I say. Oh yeah, and Tina Watts, she cried for like a second. You're just filling me with so much confidence, Glee. You're just making me feel like I should care about this show. I'm gonna keep watching this show. There's something. It's probably all the Curtin, Blaine, and Brittany and Santana stuff that wants me to keep coming back. Oh, and next week we have a tribute to Saturday Night Fever. Look, I get that the tribute episodes make you guys more money, but, and I know you're doing like a Whitney Houston one later too, like overkill. Maybe you should have started it with that. I don't know. Just. Oh, and we're getting introduced to the other Glee Project person, the one who wasn't one of the winners, but he gets a little arc himself anyway, so another character. Oh, and Jesus Kid was there for a hot second. I guess that was... they're slowly introducing him. I guess that's all right, because we need more characters on Glee, But overall, what do I give this episode? This episode gets a... I don't know, this is tough. Oh, God. Mediocre. It gets a C. It was just so... It wasn't apathetic like some episodes have been in the past. Like, I did feel some emotion out of this, and there were a few good moments. Like, once again, all the songs with Blaine and his brother. It's very rare when I like a lot of the songs they sing on Glee, so I was into that. But seriously, especially like with like the Quinn and Artie number, stop auto-tuning people that can actually kind of sing. It makes them sound worse, Glee. So yeah, a C. And God, it has been 7 weeks. Yeah, I shaved, crazy. But it's been 7 weeks, so I'm ready to get back into the swing of things, and I'll keep bringing it to you every weekend, viewers. If you want me to talk about something in the next episode, if you actually, once the episode airs, if you leave a comment on the previous video, I'll look at it and I'll try to respond. So if you want to do that, go for it. Or send me a message on YouTube with questions I can ask. I usually do these around midday on Wednesday, so if you get them to me before then, I can actually answer them. But until then, thanks for watching, and see you later.